Hello and welcome to a tutorial on how to use the Nymains Kitbasher version 0.1. This is a tutorial on how to get set up, how to get going with generating your kits so that you can use them in your football manager games or in your fantasy football leagues. You're welcome to use them however you like. In this, we will just go over how to set everything up, get going, and then how to manage the generation of your kit so that you can get the experience that you want. Here is the two downloads that you will need to get started: the Kitbasher version 0.1 zip for the program itself, and then the template zip that you will need to get going. Once you have extracted the Kitbasher into its own folder, it should look something along the lines of this. And then all you need to do to get the templates in there is to open up the templates folder, the template zip, sorry, and just drag and drop it into the folder and copy it into the Kitbasher root folder like so that you have a folder that looks like this, kit templates and the list of them. Now to get opened and get started with the Kitbasher, just double click on the Kitbasher desktop. For the moment, you will need to ignore any virus warnings, as this isn't a SSL signed kit, as this is a work in progress. Now, you'll be greeted by this empty Kitbasher desktop, and what you want to do is you want to start importing your teams from, say, Wikipedia. That's the easiest way of doing it. So what you'll do is if you navigate to the league that you wish to import, you just take the URL that you're doing from the English Wikipedia and then click edit teams and import league. You'll then get this pop-up. Ignore this for the moment. We'll go over how to work these later. You can just use all sponsors and all sponsors. If you just paste that in here, just click OK, and then you'll get a pop-up like this. And now it will download the kits for you from the Wikipedia page. If we look at what it's doing just while we wait for it, it's looking for a table that looks a bit like this, where there is a list of clubs and a list of links to go from it. If we click into here, we can see what it is looking at. It is looking at this page, and it gets its information and its kits from here. So here you can see the list of kits. That is what it's using to generate the kits from scratch. Now, while this is downloading, you can just take a minute to relax and have a look around. For the moment, let's just do a quick time jump to the end of it loading. And here we go as it gets the last few teams from the Premier League. You can see West Ham United being loaded, and then it'll get the Wolverhampton Wanderers, and then we will be ready to go. And so here you go, here's the list of teams. Now if you want to do an individual team for whatever reason, just so that you have a list, just click on Edit Teams and Import Team, and then you get a very similar pop-up. You can then go to the Wikipedia page of the team that you wish to import and then paste it in here just like you did with the league. It'll then just go off and get the kits and add it to your list. If there's a team that you don't actually wish to generate kits for anymore and you don't want on your list, you can just click them and then click Settings and then Delete Selected Teams, and then Delete Selected Teams and click OK, and it will remove them from the list. That's all you need to do. Now, if you're happy with all the defaults as they are made, all you need to do is simply select all of them and click Generate to start building your teams yourself. Now, you may find that some of the defaults or some of the machine learning that's involved to get, say, the colors of the team or whether or not they're striped as a default might not be correct. And here we can see that Sheffield United haven't got the right striped setting. You want to know whether or not their home kit is striped. So if you just do that, just see that, you just click Sheffield United, click striped and click save. And that will save your settings for you there. If a color isn't quite right, or it hasn't loaded one of the new kits that you really wish to use, you can just go to the kit that is involved, get the away colours. Say I don't actually know the away colours. You can even make them up yourself. Let's give them a lovely green and red kit, and then just click save. If you have particular colours involved, if you want to get into the hex code, you can just do click down here, click advanced, and then there's a hex code or an RGB value that you wish to add. And we can just use black for that, and we can just save that. So that's how you edit your teams. Very simple, hopefully nice and intuitive. Now once you're ready to go, we can click on a team and click generate to generate your kit. And it will just take a minute to go through the template, select the template, populate the colors that it wants to, populate the sponsors, and add in any badges and that kind of thing. And here you go, it'll open up your generated kits folder, and here we go, you can see that it's generated some kits and giving it a nice output and a nice sponsor. Now we could want to do like Man United or Arsenal have, where they have different badges on their home and away kits. Manchester United, they keep the same badge, but they just have it contrasted. And what we can do here is we can just click create the contrast badge, and then we can use the machine learning involved to generate a contrast badge for the away and third kits. Once you've done that, you can just click close, and that will then generate a new kit when you want to. Contrasts colors are then made of black and white. The black will be replaced with the primary color of the away and third kits, and then the so you can see here's a red badge, but here we have the black and white silhouetted contrast badges, and you can see that it's made the kits for us with a nice Airbnb sponsor. Now when it comes to dealing with the sponsors, we can then start to look in our sponsor management. So if we go to settings, manage sponsors, and we've got a list of the different categories that you can have for a sponsor. Generally, we mix it into automotive, as in cars, banking, gambling, technology, tourism, and website. Now, in real life, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your point of view, gambling has the majority of sponsorships within the Premier League and in most other leagues. And so we've got here, if we click on that, we've got a weighting to go on gambling that is different from the others. That's technology of 20 and tourism of 10. Now that's just means it just, as you add all the weightings together, it's so a gambling sponsorship is 3 times more likely than a tourism board to be selected. You can obviously edit these yourself and just enter in your new number and click save. If you want it to be more likely to be selected, you just enter in your new value, or if you want it to be less likely selected, you can just enter in your value again. Now if we open up the sponsorships, you can see the list of sponsored here, and again, if you want to edit any of these, you can click on them and edit them as you like. Now some sports markets, they want you to some sponsorships, they look better when they are still in their main colors. Say Mansion Bet, you don't want to have a single color version. They have that red block very specifically on all their kits. So for that one, you can just click untick allow silhouette version, and then just click save, and then that is done. For others, you might want them always to be colored, say 888 Sport. So you just click silhouette on home kit. Some of them, they don't really work with an outline. By default, they're all outlined with a white background on the home kit. So white ones don't usually come up very well with that. So just untick this add outline for non-silhouette, and then allow on sleeve sponsors, and that should be what it says on the tin. That's just on the right hand sleeve. A lot of teams now have a secondary sponsor, and you can turn them on and off for each sponsorship. Now, if I want to add my own category, you can just absolutely create a new folder. We're going to add food because we're going to add a new sponsorship. Again, you can just give it its own weighting. Let's put that up to 20 weighting, and we can just open up the food folder and we can upload a new sponsor. Now I have it ready here with Greg's, just for the ease of use. So we've got a Greg's folder. Now, if we want to have a custom version of the colored ones that we use on the away kits and the third kits, or on the home kit, if you select that particular, if you tick this box here, we might want to do a silhouette version. If you just click here, we can, I've already got one. On this one, I have just removed this blue box around the Greg's. It just makes for a nicer picture. So I just upload it there and it will go into the system as is. And that's how you manage sponsors. You can absolutely upload your own folders or anything like that. Or if you just want to add to the existing ones, say you want to add in Mercedes-Benz, I have in my pictures, Mercedes-Benz, and then you can upload them there just like that. Should be pretty easy. Once they go in as a automatically added to the general pool. Now you might want to do it that you have multiple groupings of sponsorship, so that you can have, say, your English sponsors for your Premier League and your Norwegian one for your Eliteserien, or vice versa. Or if you want to make a split between the more expensive teams, that your Etihad sponsors and your Emirates sponsors, the ones that are going to do more money at the top of the league, and those who are falling by the wayside and not doing so well, they're more likely to be sponsored by boiler companies or betting companies, for example. And we can do that by managing our groupings. If we go to manage groupings, when you first start up, you'll have no sponsor groupings that you need to add, but you can just click add to create a new group. And I'm just going to do a Premier League grouping here just for ease of access, and we can see there. If we close that down, once we click on it, we can now see that we've got this list of groupings that we can add it to. So if I want Vauxhall to be added to to be shown in the Premier League, I can click Vauxhall here. Peugeot is a French company, less likely to sponsor the Premiership, more likely to be going into League 1. Mercedes-Benz into the Bundesliga, for example. So I can take the Englishy ones, or the ones that were more likely to be sponsoring in the English league, and just clicking them into the group here. I can go into a different sponsor grouping. HP is a lot more likely, whereas say Deutsche Telekom, less likely to go into the Premier League. So again, we can just go through and we can click the ones that we want. You can have multiple groupings, so I can add another. Just click add, and say, for example, Eliteserien. We save, and again, you can just click, if you want to get rid of a grouping, just click there and delete. So we can just group there. A sponsor can be in multiple groupings as well. Virgin Mobile, more likely to be in the Premier League. Tencent, they can do the Eliteserien. And there we go. That's what you can do with sponsors. So you can upload your new ones. You can upload silhouette versions. You can play around with the settings on them to make them come out better on the teams. And you can make them into groups. Now, once we're done there, you'll see that we can now click on this and click on Premier League so that you can select the Premier League for each team. And you just click Save. Manchester United Premier League. If we add in Tromsø again, so import team, take the Tromsø URL. I can add this, and I can already add them as an Elite Syrian sponsor grouping. And if I click OK, it will go get the Tromsø teams. And if we click here, you can see that it's Elite Syrian. Just to let you know, Team ID is the ID in Football Manager. If you add in this, it will generate your config files for you so that you can import these images. There are tutorials online on how to get the ID. Hopefully soon it will be automatically filled, but for the moment you'll have to manually enter them. And that's how you can deal with sponsorships. And the last thing we want to look at is the template groups. Now, template groups just allow you to select what brands that you wish to use within your within your generated kits. Now, for example, Jayco and Joma are not very popular in the Premier League, so they're less likely to be selected as a team sponsorship for the Premier League. And I can just add, there's a new template group. I'm going to do another Premier League grouping for the templates, and I'm going to select Adidas, Hummel because they sponsor Everton, or are the team for Everton. Macron are quite common in the UK. New Balance because they do Southampton, Nike, and Umbro and Puma. So just select them as you want to go. Under Armour as well, why not? And we can just save that. And if we click out of that, I can choose for Manchester City. I can choose Premier League. So that gives you a little more fine tuning on how you want to do what template for. Now, if we can now generate for Manchester City, and it will just generate the teams for you. And again, we can see what ones they've created. So here's a Macron kit for Manchester City, using I believe the new colours for the 21-22 season. And that's how you do it. It will generate a config file for you if you enter in the team's IDs. The last way you might want to enter in a team, say Wikipedia has failed you and it's not allowed you to enter a team, or it is a fantasy team that you just want to be able to generate kits for, you can create the team here. Now, again, we just want to change the badge, and we want to upload our own badge. We want to give it the team a name, so second yellow card. Again, you can enter in the team ID, and here we want to change the colours, so we just want to use a yellow and a black kit. And the away colours will go with red and white, why not? Again, you can choose a sponsor grouping and a template grouping as you like, or if they're striped or not. Let's make them striped. Let's save there. So the second yellow card, all the settings you can see that come in, and I can generate. So it'll generate your kits for you, and there's no reason that you can't select multiple ones and generate them again. So here we go. This is the second yellow card, sponsored by Hyundai, and there we have it. That's how you can use the Nymains Kitbasher. If you have any comments, questions, or queries, do please go to the Discord. There is a bug reporting channel. If you can just do bug reports, the releases will give you the latest releases. tutorials or more videos like this may be published. And if you have any good kits that you generate, I'm really happy to see them. So if you could upload them here. Graphics commissions, if you have a good sponsor badge, that's really good. Or if you have any feature requests so that we can look to the future, then please upload them here. Things like 3D kits definitely are on the horizon, and I'd really like to get your opinions on these. So thank you very much for watching, and please do leave any comments in the Discord or on this YouTube channel. Thanks very much.